Hello everyone and welcome back to an amazing chess game by the magician from Riga, Mikhail Tal, and his opponent is Miroslav Filip, who is playing with the black pieces, and this chess game is from 1958 in the Portoroz Interzonal chess tournament. So let's see what happened in the chess game. This is also one of the must-see chess games of Mikhail Tal, and Tal starts the game with pushing the e-pawn e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, and we have the Spanish game asking a question, bishop goes back, knight to f6, and Tal castled. Bishop to e7, rook to e1, b5, bishop goes back, d6, c3, and Tal is planning to play d4. So Tal is also defending on g4, not allowing bishop to g4, knight to a5, bishop back, and pushing the c-pawn, and Tal finally pushed the d-pawn, charging at the center. Queen to c7, developing the knight, and he is blessed opening the center. Knight back, and knight to h4, knight to e7, and queen to f3, rook to d8, and knight to e3, and Mikhail Tal is aiming on f5. Okay, so we have queen to b7 and g4 by the magician from Riga, pushing the pawn in front of the king. Very aggressive, very confident and brave. c4, knight from e to f5. Well, this knight is an octopus knight, so capturing back. And this knight is still pretty dangerous, so black captured the knight with the bishop. And in this position, Mikhail Tal captured back with the g-pawn, and basically he opened the g-file. And this open g-file is going to be useful for Mikhail Tal when attacking the black king. So he is planning to move the king and bring the rook on g1 and targeting the king. So this is one of the plans of Mikhail Tal. King to h8 and king to h2 by Tal, planning to bring the rook on g1. h6, and this is looking dangerous. We have rook to g1, queen to e7, bishop to d2, moving the bishop, attacking the bishop, defending and lifting the rook. And black wants to double his rooks and occupy the open d-file and attacking. So first black has to deal with the threat of Tal. He is threatening checkmate, so queen to g3 and attacking on g7. So defending with the queen, queen to f8. And this is actually one of the very interesting moments of this chess game. Well, Mikhail Tal, he played a bad move. He played king to h1. And this move is not a good move, according to the computer chess engine, because this is giving black a tempo, rook from a to d8. And black occupies the open d-file. So it looks like black actually has a pretty active position, but on the other hand, black has to be careful because Tal is targeting the g7 square. Tal has the open file. This looks dangerous. But in this position, king to h1 was definitely not a good move. What are the other candidate moves in this position? So bishop to c1 is a pretty good move. Or maybe queen to h4, so in this position maybe threatening to capture the pawn, then the knight is going to be hanging. Threatening to capture the pawn with the bishop. So okay, in this position we have king to h1 and black is doubling his rooks. Rook from a to d8 by black, by Miroslav Filip. What would you do in this position? Well, actually, when chess players plays a bad move, sometimes they admit their mistakes, and they play a pathetic looking, a sad looking passive move with admitting their mistake. Mikhail Tal also admit his mistake. He said, okay, I ruined it. And instead of playing a passive looking move, he said, oh, what the hell? Let's sacrifice the bishop anyway. This is what Mikhail Tal did. Sacrificing the bishop. Is it sound? It's not. According to the computer chess engine, of course. But for a human's perspective, of course, Mikhail Tal is creating some weaknesses in Black's camp. So Black accepted the sacrifice, which was the best move, but as you can see, Black also has some weaknesses because Mikhail Tal now captured on e5 with the queen, the knight is pinned, and how to defend? You can't defend with the queen because Tal occupied the g file. So defending with the bishop, bishop goes back, bishop to e7. Well, that was also attacking the, if blocking with the rook, I think capturing the bishop is probably possible. So, well, what else? I don't know. Going back with the bishop. And then rook to d4 by Mikhail Tal. Lifting the rook. Rook takes, pawn takes rook. Unpinning the knight. King to h7 and rook over to d1. In Mikhail Tal's chess games, there is something common. A common theme. Mikhail Tal makes those crazy looking sacrifices and then he is playing sharp chess, attacking over and over again, creating psychological pressure. And finally, not always, but chess players like Viktor Korchnoi doesn't crack under the pressure, but most of Tal's opponent cracks under the pressure. In this position, there are many good moves. So Black is actually surviving. And on the other hand, we can say that Mikhail Tal has the strong center, but Black is a piece up. We should never forget about that. The king safety is not looking very safe, but with playing precise chess constantly, Black should be fine. But as I said, some of Mikhail Tal's opponents cracks under the pressure. And this is what happened to Black. Knight to e8. This was a blunder. Can you see why this was a blunder? Because this actually opens the diagonal. But in this position, queen to e8 was one of the best moves in this position. So defending queen to f4, let's say c3, capturing queen to c6, and actually Black is fighting back. Black is doing very well in this position. But still, White has a pretty strong center, which is not 100% clear, which is complicated. But in this position, we have knight to e8, which was a complete mistake, a blunder. Because now Tal pushed the pawn, attacking the bishop, what else? Capturing, checking the king, and then pushing the pawn, the diagonal is open, attacking the knight, and then threatening checkmate, how to defend. So you can't defend the knight, defending queen to g7, and Mikhail Tal captured the knight. E takes on f6. Okay, bishop takes on f6. Most definitely you can take the pawn with the queen because of queen to h7, checkmate. There is no defense. So bishop takes on f6 and then rook to g1 by Tal, occupying the open file. If defending the queen, then queen to h7 checkmate, so blocking with the bishop, Tal pushed the pawn, Black resigned. What a game by the magician from Riga, Mikhail Tal. Incredible chess game. Actually very adventurous, very fun, exciting chess game. We like this type of chess, isn't it? So the possible continuation, a move, and basically Black is losing a piece and White is a piece up in a winning position. Interesting, isn't it? Just one move, just one mistake, bang. It's over. This was the mistake. So basically in this position, this is opening the diagonal, a deadly diagonal, and Black can't defend the knight because if moving the knight, there is going to be checkmate once again, and then occupying the open file. And then pushing the pawn, and basically that's all she wrote. Black is in big trouble. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Take care and bye bye.